Are you military and PCSing to the Emerald Coast? It can be overwhelming choosing which town to live in. Wouldn't you like to just have a chat with someone who's here? Stay tuned and I'll give you my perspective on which town to settle in. Hi, I'm Stephanie Lankowski and I sell residential real estate with Taylor Allen Properties in Destin, Florida. Today I want to talk about the 4 cities that you may choose if you are on orders to move to Hurlburt Field, Eglin Air Force Base, or Duke Field. I could give you lots of stats, I could take you to lots of websites, but I think you're smart enough to do that yourself. So I'd like to just talk to you as if, like we're friends. So I'm going to give you my perspective on the 4 cities you could choose. Let's get started. Today I'm discussing tip number 3 in my video series, PCSing to the Emerald Coast. In video number 1, I discussed tips 1, 2, and 4. So let's get started with tip number 3. So the first town we're going to talk about is Crestview. Crestview is a little bit north. It is up on I-10. It surrounds I-10 by the Alabama-Florida border. And it is a historic town. It was established in 1916, and I'd say it holds that small country town feel. It has a main street that's seen some regrowth in the last couple of years with some cute restaurants and coffee shops that are nice to go and sit with your friends. It has some historic buildings. It has seen a residential growth phase. There's a bunch of development going up there in housing due to just the demand of affordable housing in this area. It is in Okaloosa County, and it'll be a part of the Okaloosa County School District. And it is ideal if you're going to be living if you're assigned to Duke Field. Eglin is not too far behind with its drivability, but you need to be considerate of Highway 85, which is often backed up with traffic, unfortunately. Just be prepared. If you're driving north on 85, you're going to hit traffic almost daily from military, and it increases with our tourist industry. But otherwise, what I would say for Crestview, it's nice small town living. It has everything that you would need. But if you're a family that needs more than your basic school, church, small choices in restaurants, and you're happy with whatever small activities you're involved in, ballet, football, they have all those local sports through their town. You might find yourself driving a lot to activities, especially you're going to be driving to the coast, to the beach, to any water access. Another additional thing, if you're interested in putting eyes on Crestview, check out this website from their city. They have some really cool videos around town, and I'll show you how to access them here. The next town I'd like to talk about is Niceville. Niceville is conveniently located for all 3 base accesses. It is south of Duke Field and east of Eglin Air Force Base. I'll just throw out there, we lived in Niceville when my husband was stationed on Hurlburt Field, and it was still a pretty easy commute for him. It took about 20-30 minutes max for him to get to the back gate of Hurlburt. Niceville is an extremely coveted city, and you will see an increase in prices in your home, as there's also an increase in demand. The town boasts an extremely nice high school, Niceville High School, and the adjacent city of Valpy hosts I'm going to call it a charter school of the Okaloosa STEM Academy, which is one of the top-rated middle schools in all of the state of Florida. Also in Niceville, there are some really wonderful established neighborhoods, pretty. Swift Creek, Magnolia Plantation, Rocky Bayou, Blue Water Bay. These are some of the big name neighborhoods, and these are going to be pretty up there in price and high in demand when you go to looking to purchase a home. I would encourage you to look south of 20. They're having a lot of regrowth in this area. It's a little more of an established neighborhood, but there's little pockets of regrowth and renovations in the homes south of 20 in Niceville. I would definitely have someone that you trust drive by. I had a house I wanted to buy over there and just decided it was it, and I drove by it and learned very quickly it was not it. There were no sidewalks and the houses were really spaced together, and I have a dog and love to go running. So that would be my suggestion for looking for houses in Niceville. Niceville also is a coastal city, bonus plus, yay. It is coastal to the bay. It also has a couple different tributaries of rivers. It has lovely parks. It has Turkey Creek, which is a natural spring that you can walk, you can hike, you can kayak, you can swim. It's really cold, but super fun. There are 2 high and dry marinas where you can store your boat, rent your boat. It is also where I drive a lot for my children's after-school activities. Niceville hosts a lot of wonderful things for our young people, our kids, sports programs. It has a couple of, it has college there. You're just going to find a lot to do in Niceville, and I don't think you can go wrong choosing Niceville. Next, I want to talk about Fort Walton Beach, Shalimar, and Mary Esther. I'm going to clump them all together because they're kind of sandwiched between Hurlburt and Eglin. The name of the game for these cities for me is convenience. You're really not going to find something more convenient. Just because it's sandwiched between those two, don't think that you're not going to have traffic. It is still a busy city. I think that Fort Walton is a bustling city where a lot of the business of the Emerald Coast gets done. The popular neighborhoods to live in here are, or some of them, are Kenwood Estates, Paquito Bayou, Lake Lorraine, and Overbrook are where a lot of friends live. I have friends that live in these areas and say they love them. They feel that they have a really tight-knit community, that they all look out for one another, and they've been able to form nice friendships and get enmeshed in local churches and their community. I think that Fort Walton has all the shopping. There's a shopping mall, there's a Target, there's a Kohl's, we have Lowe's, Home Depot, all your car dealerships are there, and lots of fun restaurants. Don't worry, there's a Chick-fil-A, we will all survive, yay! Fort Walton is also still in Okaloosa County School District. There are 2 major high schools there. I think there is also an online high school attached. Why don't you go and check out Okaloosa County School District's website? I'll put a small video in here to show you where to find the schools. 2 schools of note in this particular area are a charter school, which is Liza Jackson, and it is excessively well liked and has an extremely great reputation. It is by application and has a wait list. And then there's also the Northwest Florida Ballet Academy, and it's technically a community school. It again is an application process, but for those aspiring young ballerinas or someone looking for who can tolerate ballet and wants really, really small classroom setting, these might be good options for you.
All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about Navarre. Navarre has really impressed me lately. When I first moved here back in 2008, I think that's right, Navarre was recovering from a hurricane, and it really was just a grocery store and a growing and developing community. They have a really lovely, nice established neighborhood of Holly by the Sea. Lots of other good neighborhoods as well, but that one has like a planned community with activities and pool and just all the amenities that you might really like for a neighborhood. Anyway, Navarre has like grown up so much since then, and a lot of my favorite restaurants in Destin have actually made second locations out in Navarre, and it is a beachfront community, same beautiful sandy white beaches, with just a little less traffic. There's not quite as many. There's still like a rental tourist population on Navarre Beach proper, but it's really, you're gonna find a lot of military here. Because it is a little removed, you have a little bit of a commute, and you have a really nice family community that has a little bit larger houses for a little more affordable prices, you're going to be neighbors with your military community. So great place to raise a family. It's a great place if, you know, your kids' activities and occasional night out to eat dinner somewhere, go to church. If you're looking for something more than that, Navarre might not be the right place for you, but if you're looking for family, a quiet family place to live while you're here, or maximize a rental opportunity after you leave, Navarre might be a really great place for you to consider.
Finally, I'd like to talk about Destin. Destin is a thriving tourist destination. It is beachfront coastal living on all sides and aspects. It is extremely desirable. Location when you talk about realty, and you've got that with Destin. You do have, in the tourist season, which is almost year-round now, heavier traffic than most other areas, but living here, which I do for the second time, my theory is that I have to sit in traffic almost everywhere here. I just have a less of a distance to go in traffic here in Destin. So you can take my theory all the way to the bank if you'd like. Destin is really a fun place to live. It is centrally located to access Hurlburt or Eglin Air Force Base. To go to Eglin Air Force Base, you would maybe consider going over the Mid-Bay Bridge, which is a pretty hefty toll every day, or going around through Fort Walton Beach. You can use some back roads primarily to access Hurlburt. My husband does this still, and it takes him about 20 minutes to get to work. On a typical day, getting back into Destin sometimes is a little more challenging, but it is still a part of Okaloosa County School District. It is a small community, so Destin has one elementary school, one middle school, and had no high school. But coming this fall in 2021, thanks to some dedicated citizens, we have our very first charter high school starting in Destin. We are super excited. Woo-hoo. It's going to be amazing. They've got some great leadership coming to start that school out. And Destin is just the heart of the area for fun. You can really truly take advantage of what this area offers in living here. The major downside is that because it is so coveted, you are going to pay a significant amount more for a home and get a lot less home for your money. That's up to you whether the juice is worth that squeeze. You will always have a great renter's market if you plan on turning around and renting your home here. I have not even had to list my homes that I've had here because they have just rented out. Wonderful opportunity. If you'd like to take advantage of it and you get the opportunity, use your network to get into Destin, because it's almost a who you know that's selling a house type of situation to get you in here. Hey, that wraps up our tips for PCSing to the Emerald Coast. Tip number 1, if you remember, was to get a TLF reservation now. Tip number 2 is to know your gate access. Tip number 3 was the 4 cities that you may consider living in. And tip number 4 is use your network. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider watching our PCSing video playlist. And we'll see you next Thursday.